Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age of Empires 3 replay. So on bottom left side as the blue Japanese, we have Canadian. He finally got back to the Japanese. He's been playing a bit of Mexican lately. So on top of right side as red Portuguese, we got Manyiot34. Looks like both sides going for the trade post down south. Local kitty cat will go down and steal his hummingbird. For 40 experience, not even food. He just sold his pet hummingbird. When it comes to deck, no deck just yet. No deck selected just yet. Probably some sort of eco play for the Portuguese. It feels like Portuguese always go for eco play because they get free town centers, and that's just basically default for them. Because it's aggravating more of these local kitty cats. Seal their cache of mahogany. Man, those cats must be living very fancy to have with a mahogany. Got the Japanese monks go around pulling some shrines to collect all the tapir. He also can perhaps praise the capybara. Portuguese player does go for the agenda number 1. Not sure what that's a reference to, but we do have Federitas, Town Militia. What's this card here? Team House of Braganza. Butchered that well enough. Trade route upgrades are free and available in any age for the entire team. So he can get out Sage Coast and Iron Horse, the trains. Free in any age. So this will affect him and his opponent. I don't think that's a good card. At least not on this map. On some maps where you have the trade post or trade route behind you, that could be actually pretty decent. On this map, not so much, unless he's obtained a trade route on one side. Good number of Costadors. We got Dragoon Combat, so I'm for Costador Dragoons. We got Fort Refrigeration. Got some organ guns. Who doesn't want to see a pile of organs on the ground? Range Dragoons, Grape Shot, and Heavy Cannon Factories. Let's become Costador Dragoon Organ Gun. He is aging up with the Philosopher Prince, which is, what, 500 food? We do now have the Japanese going for the experience deck. Let's see, we do have the Heavenly Kami. Do we see the 5 Shrouded Dragons? Yes, we do. Taking out the Blow Gunner. He does obtain Buttercup somewhere. Oh, Yanni. Why did I think it was Buttercup? Either way, he does have a pet kitty cat. Just be careful, it may knock stuff off the table. Go for the Heavily Calming now, which does give increased experience gathering rate by 50% as well as the other resources, and reduce the cost of those shrines themselves. We have age up to the Torii Gates. You can always put Yanni the Pet Jaguar in the Cat Temple. They just need a fox, a fox temple, a snake temple, and a Tanuki temple. The cat does go down there. He will obtain the treasure. No stealing there, which I think is fine enough. Commerce Mage now complete by the Portuguese player. There's his free covered wagon. Right now, Federitas does provide 0.5, 0.86, 0.85 roughly. Pretty sure this is actually a full 0.25, not necessarily 0.24, though I haven't really used a stopwatch to count that. And Blues Tiger does go down. Alfonso Rodriguez, the Yanni Kaler. Hunting Dog goes being researched. Got Shima Coin. He's probably going to a Fast Fortress. He is currently not building any villagers. Where's the covered wagon at? Should be. There it is. Which will provide him some extra population space. So he's been stalling out on the village production. He can deploy out some villagers with the secondary town center. Use one town center to age up, the other town center to build villagers. But he's definitely behind. His opponent's at 22. He's only had 10. But his age up's not available. Get the villagers queued up in the other place. He's going straight for the exiled prince. Bandit below gunner engaging. It's a good thing that he's engaging in melee. Has 5 damage rather than 30. So twice attack speed, so it's strictly 10 versus 30. Multiple shrines have been flown in the field, though this shrine doesn't appear to be close enough to any wildlife. Oh, nope, there is some there. Got some tapirs. A large amount of fauna here. Got the capybaras, got the tapirs. I think another shrine could still be deployed out here. My offhand math is a little bit incorrect, though. Current animals 4, available slots 0, 0, 1. Yeah, I think there's enough room for another shrine there. There's the Fortress Age. Do now have a fort shipment. Looks like the Portuguese players trying to dig in. Point shipment there for the Japanese player. His economy is significantly better. He has a total of 21 villagers. He has some military force in the field. Round of Ashikaru Musketeers. Strange enough, one of the best things he can probably go for right now is probably a Samurai for the high torch damage. There's that single Samurai there with 60 siege. Samurai are ultimately at times to a halberdier. At least in population wise. Japanese players pretty close on aging on up. Two villager queues going for some Costlers, which are light infantry units with a similar cost to Musketeers and distribution. When he sees the Oscar Musketeers, it'd be a good idea to go for more Costlers. Though that shipment 8 may be enough right now. Actually, that would be more than plenty against all of just 5 Oscar Musketeers. There are 3 town centers in the field. He's not properly producing for all of them, only building 2 at a time. Those need to get that fixed. There's Costlers now. 18 damage, 20 range. I believe that is the same amount as a skirmisher. But yeah, you can see their cost is more similar to a musketeer. Fort has been established, another shipment available. Maybe the halberdiers. Goes for the shipment coin. He may be eyeing for a fast industrial. There's the shrine wagons now being established. The Costlers could take it out. Gets a good volley there in the shrine wagon. Does get deployed out there to claim the capybara. Come on, chest.
Qual é a sua ordem?
Yep, you can't claim food that's at the shrine, but apparently you can do that with the livestock markets for the Ethiopians in the Hausa. I found out recently. While in this, the shrines does prevent those from being collected. That should really change for the Hausa and Ethiopians. You have to bash the heads in the cattle there at the livestock market. Forte Cashew. Got steel traps going for. Well, was thinking around for our halberdiers. Pretty close to aging on up. We do, of course, have Fortress Age for the Japanese player. You have some more musketeers. Has a bit of import to export. Or export to import. Flaming arrows not being pulled in the field, as well as disciplined Ashigaru musketeers. Another kitty cat does go down there. Portuguese players has enough coin to age up, just needs a bit more food. Hold off the village production until that's complete. Flaming arrows are nice and all. He does also have the Daimyo Masamune thanks to the shogunate. He's also taking time to collect the cherry orchards. Lantern Festival now complete, improving his food collection rate. Going for blanket filters. Shrines right now collect up wood. Probably a good resource for that. Right now he does have 11 out of 20 shrines, so I'm just going to round it down to 10, so 4.5 wood per second. And right now 31 villagers to 35. Their economies are probably pretty close to being even, slightly in favor of the Japanese player. But Triple Town Center is another matter. Or for more settlers now, the Tycoon being aged on up, which does give him a bit of coin rebate. Japanese isolation now being researched as well. Church here for divine intervention. Another shipment's available. Going for the flaming arrows for the Japanese player again, bringing all of his flaming arrows, which will be useful against these musketeers and veteran castors. He has now aged up. Factory is probably a good idea. Probably go for heavy cannon as well. I'm biased towards heavy cannon. There's his 4th town center. He's bringing the shipment of heavy cannon, so he's going to try to close the game. Right now, the Portuguese player is 80 out of 8 population, which 40 of which are military units, versus 94, 35 which are military units. So the Japanese player does have a better army. The flaming arrows will... no, the heavy cannon may cause some issues. Flaming arrows, they do bonus damage as artillery, right? I always forget all the various Asian artillery, what they're effective against and not. I always get mixed up the Chinese and the Japanese, which mortars does bonus damage for other artillery units, which one's the counter artillery units. I think flame arrows are more close to a light cannon, right? A cheaper light cannon. I am probably mistaken about that. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Heavy cannons is a really big problem for blue. These are regular musketeers, so these are just H2 musketeers. Daimyo Masamune does draw a lot of fire there. These guys don't do any bonus damage with artillery, so they're not counter artillery. They do have 28 range, same range as the heavy cannon. It does quickly take out those heavy cannon there. Daimyo Masamune is still alive. Wounded, but alive. And these H2 musketeers are just simply not enough for the H3 Ashikaga musketeers. Got H3 Castadors now in the field as well. More flaming arrows, going for the factory shipment, because I think heavy cannon would be very useful. Though he didn't really deal with the flaming arrows all too well. Castadors are definitely the way to go against the Ashikaga musketeers. And maybe squeeze out counter infantry rifling if possible, but that's not always possible. Musketeers do go down there. More flaming, a massive number of flaming arrows. Sort of like that. You don't really see mass flaming arrows all too often. Their cost is relatively cheap side, like I said, more for light cannon. Do now some organ guns, because who doesn't want to see a pile of organs? You now have these. One town set is down. He should sell 3 more, because Portuguese. There's a factory. Currently, both factories set the coin. I do believe heavy cannon may be a little bit better at the moment. He'll hard counter the Ashikaga musketeers, though he does have pretty good hard counter the Castadors. He, of course, doesn't have guard variants just yet. There's the organ guns. And of course, a very important round of Hussars, but they're going to get quickly gunned down by the Ashgar Musketeers. They do draw some fire there. Flame Arrows quickly focus on one of the Organ Guns. Organ Guns trying to retaliate. They do 3% less damage versus artillery, so Flame Arrows are better in this situation of duel between the two. Plus, there's simply a lot of them. Gonna get the Town Militia there, going for another string of Cossadors. The fort will take a bit of abuse as 9,000 health. These guys do ×2 damage from their buildings, so more or less closer to a soft counter or a hard counter. They're a bit more generalists like the Falconet, that's for sure. And they do outrange the fort itself. We now have the Guard Cossadors. I think you should go for counter infantry rifling before going for Guard Cossadors first, because that will improve his damage output by 100%. Base damage output by 100%, as well as improving the base damage and health by 30%. So yeah, I think counter infantry rifling would be much better. Though that the improved upgrades will help out in dealing with the flaming arrows. If I go to melee, these guys have 6 damage in melee. It's probably better to yes, technically they do better, but they're very stacked up, very vulnerable splash damage from these flaming arrows. I don't think going the melee mode against them was a good idea. You need just culverins. Militia deploy in the field, again, rip apart there, try and deal with more of the flaming arrows, still having trouble with them. And now he's tagged one of his factories to the his remaining factory to the heavy cannon. He's missing coin, he just ran out of coin there, and that's probably gonna spell doom. He doesn't have a mark on the field. Only couple barracks. So yeah, looks the Portuguese player. He needs to get a lot more villagers on coin. He has a decent amount of food reserve. Good volley there by the Cossadors. But max pop has become a bit of a problem for the Portuguese player as well. He has 500 wood, so he can do a good amount of houses. He has one council to here, so losing this one's not a huge issue. Just a issue. Those villagers do get gunned down there, taking the wrong path around. If they can't escape out of there, yep, just task on that wood. The fort is a good defensive placement right here. He has a good number of Cossadors to support him out. Does do 25% less damage versus artillery. There's some dragoons. More flaming arrows there. Dragoons now engaging melee against these guys. But they do have good multipliers versus artillery, so they're decent anti-siege weapons. These guys don't do less damage versus cavalry, just do generic damage. Makes them not bad against them. Another heavy cannon got full on the field, gets a good volley there on Ashgar Musketeers. Maybe I'll get one more shot off before going down. No, it does not. More Cossadors from the field, as well as more flaming arrows. Dragons get picked off by the flaming arrows. Good perhaps between town militia or conscription at this town center. Managed to fire some shots through the mesa. Good volley there. And looks like the Portuguese player does back of the game. This is Angry saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.